Welcome back to the archives. Today we are analyzing the longest running, most scientifically documented UAP file in history, Project Orange Orb. Hessdalen Valley, Norway. For decades, the site has been a beacon for the unknowable. These are not sporadic sightings, they are a continuous, scheduled phenomenon that has forced intelligence agencies from the Norwegian military to NORAD and the CIA to classify a geological site as an active unknown threat zone. In this investigation, we're going to use hard data, spectral analysis, and classified geopolitical assessments to decode the physics of these orbs. The sheer volume of sightings during the peak years 1981 to 1984 forced the world to pay attention. Witnesses weren't just seeing spheres, they reported specific repeating maneuvers, placing this far beyond any weather or natural explanation. The snake oscillation, a gentle weaving movement some of the orbs would do, suggest a complex guidance system rather than simple drift. The rapid divide and merge, an orb splitting into two or three smaller orbs, orbiting each other briefly and then fusing back together into one single perfectly shaped orb. Zero inertia movement, the ability for the orb to stop instantly from hypervelocity travel or execute perfect right-angle turns without any visible deceleration or sonic boom. This last behavior is the geopolitical red flag. Objects performing zero inertia movements defy every law of conventional atmospheric physics. Unlike almost every UAP case, Hessdalen has been subject to continuous, sustained scientific scrutiny since 1983. Project Hessdalen established monitoring stations capturing crucial data. Triangulation radar. This proved the UAPs were solid objects, not atmospheric illusions. Capable of reaching altitudes of 6 kilometers, the data confirmed speeds that were utterly impossible for conventional craft. Magnetometer readings. Instruments detected severe localized fluctuations in the magnetic field immediately preceding and during the UAP appearances. A massive energy displacement indicative of magnetohydrodynamics, MHD, propulsion, or an immense draw on local energy reserves. The core failure was the heat paradox. The objects were burning at 5,000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to vaporize the immediate area, yet they left no burn marks, confirming the existence of a high-efficiency plasma sheath designed to control the temperature and insulate the core. The spectrograph provided the most baffling data. The light is composed of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sodium, all atmospheric elements, but the temperature is consistently estimated at over 5,000 degrees Celsius. Most critically, the spectrograph consistently detected a massive unidentifiable spike that analysts dubs the element X. This signature, unique to the Hessdalen phenomenon, suggests either an isotope or compound unknown to terrestrial chemistry. The geological battery theory is the most rigorous attempt to explain the phenomenon using earth science. The valley's unique material composition, rich in quartz and metallic sulfides, creates the conditions for massive electrical charge generation under microtectonic stress. This charge then acts as a massive natural battery, ionizing the air, lifting the dust and mineral particles into the atmosphere, creating a highly charged dust plasma bubble, a self-contained light source that floats. The NORAD intelligence report addressed the plausibility of this regional anomaly. This is a quote from NORAD RDP85 Nordic UAP report from 1986. Quote, analysis of the spectral data and localized magnetic anomalies is highly suggestive of a geophysical energy battery system. The observed thermal emissions approaching 5,000 degrees Celsius are consistent with high enthalpy atmospheric plasma formation induced by local tectonic strain and subterranean water activity. Classification as non-hostile natural phenomenon pending further data on structured movement. End quote. NATO intelligence fundamentally rejected the idea that the highly structured movements, splitting, perfect turns, could be explained by a simple floating plasma bubble. If it's a bubble, it's subject to the wind. If it's a craft, it's subject to intelligence. The focus shifted to magnetohydrodynamics, a silent non-aerodynamic propulsion system. If a rival power had mastered stable MHD flight, testing it in an isolated high-energy location like Hessdalen made perfect geopolitical sense. The NATO assessment emphasized the movement. This is the NATO Tactical Assessment 4, Hessdalen section, the 1987 quote. The observed acceleration profiles and abrupt vector changes defy known aerodynamic limits for atmospheric propulsion systems. The sustained presence of structured silent objects capable of near instantaneous displacement necessitates classification as a hostile or potentially hostile advanced surveillance asset until verifiable origin is established. End quote. If the lights defy both wind and conventional human engineering, the only remaining answer is that they are structured, intelligent, non-terrestrial craft. This theory suggests the craft is using the geological energy of the valley as a massive continuous plasma fuel source. The light is the exhaust, a superheated controlled discharge. Element X is simply the residue of their propulsion process, a compound currently unknown to terrestrial sciences. Project Orange Orb is the definitive modern UAP case because the evidence is irrefutable. We have chemical analysis, radar confirmation, and military assessment. The choice is not if the phenomenon exists, but whether it is fueled by the Earth, a government, or a force from beyond. Final CIA quote, this is from CIA RDP80, the Joint UK UAP Memorandum, a 1988 quote. The sustained localized nature of the Hessdalen UAP display, coupled with its non-combustion thermal signature, suggests the observed light is an engineered plasma sheath, possibly the byproduct of an unknown propulsion system utilizing local environmental resources. The possibility of non-terrestrial reconnaissance or refueling protocols cannot be discounted and remains a high-priority threat assessment. And then we have the final NATO synthesis quote from 1988. The Hessdalen phenomenon exhibits characteristics of both natural atmospheric discharge and intelligently controlled aerospace function. Due to the high-frequency appearance in sensitive northern airspace, the UAP remains classified as Contingency Threat Level 2, Origin Unknown, requiring continuous radar monitoring and spectral analysis until the propulsion mechanisms or command structure can be definitively identified. If analyzing 5,000 degrees Celsius plasma and secret intelligence files has energized your inner investigator, you know what to do. Your likes and subscription are the fuel that powers this archive, so hit that button. We've tracked the silent burning light in the sky. Next, we're going to dive into the chilling case of a high strangeness with an abduction that has never been solved. Next time we open the files on Project Chase, the infamous abduction incident of 1973, we will analyze the direct evidence provided by witnesses Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker, the immediate police reports and polygraph tests that confirmed their terror, and the strange humanoid-like mechanical entity they described. We'll use the FBI Field Memorandum, Mississippi/UAP, and the APRO Investigation Report, Case 1973-10-11, and the Naval Intelligence Field Summary, NS-73, to assess the core question: were these men abducted by extraterrestrial automations? Was this incident a military-grade hallucination test, deployed only on 2 men? Or was the overwhelming shock an encounter with a biological entity native to the deep swamps? Join us next time as the documented terror comes from the water. I'll see you in the archives.